The year is around 60 AD. Britain is under Roman rule. Stone roads split the once wild forests and valleys. Red banners with an eagle symbol flutter at every fort. The Roman legions, clad in shining armor and large shields, patrol the trade routes and enforce the laws they created themselves. In the east of Britain, in the fertile land of Iceni, a queen named Boudica lived with her husband, King Prasutagus. The Iceni were one of the tribes that initially chose to make peace with Rome, to avoid destruction. Prasutagus made a pact. As long as he lived, his tribe would remain sovereign, even though they had to acknowledge the power of the Roman emperor. Boudica is a figure unlike most women of her time. She is tall, with long, flowing red hair, and her eyes are sharp like an eagle's. She is often seen riding her horse across the fields, greeting her soldiers and her people, making sure everyone lives well. But deep in her heart, she never fully trusted Rome. She witnessed how other cities in Britain fell one by one, their people enslaved, and their lands taken. When King Prasutagus passed away, the peace treaty he made on paper was instantly shattered. Rome ignored his will, which stated that the kingdom would be passed on to Boudica and her 2 daughters. Instead, they treated the kingdom as if it were fully owned by Rome. The land of Iceni is seized, houses are confiscated. Fertile fields are taken over to finance the Roman war elsewhere. Debts that never actually existed are suddenly imposed on the people. Boudica's suffering reached its peak when she was forced to witness the humiliating violence against herself and her 2 daughters in front of her people. Rome wanted to send a message: no one dares to oppose them. But it was precisely at that moment that something ignited in Boudica's heart. The wounds turned into an unquenchable anger. Boudica began to move quietly. She visited the tribe's elders and the heads of the warriors. She reminded them that Rome was not only stealing their land, but also their dignity. The news of the suffering of the Iceni spread to neighboring tribes, the Trinovantes, Catuvilani, and others. The resistance that has only been whispering in the darkness is starting to voice its struggle. Volunteer troops are arriving. Some carry wooden spears while others are armed only with stones and knives, but their numbers continue to grow. From hundreds to thousands, then tens of thousands. Rome considers this just a minor fuss. They underestimate the strength of a woman. The first city to be targeted is Camulodunum, a Roman colony built on the land of the Trinovantes. This city is a symbol of Roman power, complete with a large temple for the emperor, built by exploiting local labor. Boudica's forces besieged the city. The arrogant Romans who were unprepared for defense were taken by surprise by the wave of people storming the gates. Houses were set on fire. Marble statues fell. The temple of the emperor, which was considered sacred by the Romans, turned to ashes. This victory is a signal to all of Britain. Rome can be resisted. After Camulodunum fell, Boudica's forces marched towards Londinium, the Roman trading center in Britain. The city was wealthy, filled with merchants from various corners of the empire. When news of Boudica's arrival spread, the Roman governor, Gaius Suetonius Paulinus, who was fighting in the north, decided to retreat and save his troops. The inhabitants left behind in Londinium became victims. The city was burned to the ground. The once bustling cobbled streets are now filled with black smoke and the remnants of collapsed buildings. Boudica's forces did not stop. Verulamium became the next target. The same pattern occurred: swift attacks, massive fires, total devastation for the symbols of Roman power. In a short time, 3 major Roman cities in Britain were destroyed. However, Rome did not sit idly by. Governor Suetonius gathered his best troops. Although their numbers were much fewer, only about 10,000 soldiers against tens of thousands of Boudica's forces, they were trained, disciplined, and had a proven battle strategy. On Watling Street, in a narrow path flanked by forests, the Romans chose a battleground that forced Boudica's forces to advance only from the front. The ranks of Roman soldiers formed a close formation, shields interlocked, spears ready to thrust. Boudica led from atop her chariot, her red hair blowing in the wind. She directed her troops to advance. The battle broke out. The sound of clashing metal filled the air. However, the tactical superiority of Rome caused the large wave of British forces to slowly collapse. The defeat at Watling Street shattered hopes of completely driving out Rome. Rather than fall into the hands of the enemy, Boudica chose to end her life. Her fate is not definitively recorded by history. Some say she drank poison, others believe she fell ill. What is certain is that Rome won that battle, but they never truly extinguished the spirit of resistance that Boudica had awakened. Centuries later, her name continues to be mentioned as a symbol of courage, freedom, and resistance against oppression. The flame ignited by Boudica never fades in the memory of the people of Britain. She was not just a queen, but also a symbol that courage can arise from suffering, and that a woman can shake the mightiest empire in the world. Thank you for watching the short documentary that I presented. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment to support this channel.